It's 6:56, and boy, what big news today. If you're interested in telecom or if you're interested in your own cable service, listen to this. Charter Communications saying it's going to buy Time Warner. This after that huge Comcast Time Warner deal fell apart. Regulators shot that thing right down. So what's happening in this industry? Clark Hodges, a financial strategist, HodgesCapital.com. Clark, great to have you here.
Hey, good to be on with you today.
Comcast CEO Brian Roberts, he said, quote, "This deal makes all the sense in the world. I'd like to congratulate all the parties." What do you think of Comcast saying that?
Well, I mean, they, basically sat back and watched the other deal unravel, learned from it, figured out what to do. Once they had a clear path, they went in, raised their offer, went straight to the top. They didn't mess around with negotiations on a little bit more than the other deal. They went right at the top and paid a high price.
$55 billion, right?
And it makes them the second largest. And if you add in the debt, it's $78 billion. So it's a large deal. And they obviously see something in there because they're paying a pretty penny for that.
I mean, because we have Charter here in Michigan, Comcast also. I don't think Time Warner very much. But is this in any way good for consumers to see these mega mergers?
I'd say generally speaking, I use the airline industry as an analogy. Generally speaking, when you have a lot of business consolidation, acquisitions, and businesses go out of business, the consumer, generally speaking, loses because the companies have pricing power, and they put that there on their customers. Airline business is the same way. The airline business, you definitely know you've been paying more lately for your airfare. I think that'll eventually happen. Now, different parts of the country could be different,
right,
and have a lot of competition and stuff like that. But suffice it to say that generally speaking, it's probably something consumers are going to have to pay more for.
Now, in terms of the stock, is this the time you run in and buy like Time Warner or Charter stock?
You're buying it on a premium after today. You're paying up for it.
So the time to buy would have been on Friday, you're saying?
Well, of course, or a few months ago when the other deal fell through. I'm sure the prices were lower of the company then, but I'd say you're paying up for it now. And unless you're going to be a long-term holder, own it 3 to 5 years, I wouldn't know what the next few months would hold for the price.
Yeah, because they've got to go through the regulation process. I mean, how sticky does that get in terms of if you're trying to bet on a stock and you're waiting for the FCC to make a decision, does that tend to be a problem?
I think what's in the price of stock would be what everyone assumes will happen. And I think you'll probably find that the price in the stock will reflect that it should close. The fact that they sat back and were able to decipher the good and the bad and what not to do in the other deal, that this is one reason they're going forward with it, is they know they can get it closed.
Do you think the FCC is going to let this go through then?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a three-way merger. It's Time Warner, Charter, and also Bright House Networks, which I'm not familiar with. Are you?
I'm not familiar with it all. I think ultimately this industry is going towards the Netflix model, and you're going to have the bundle system, if you will, go away, and consumers pay for what they use. If you're into sports, you're going to pay for your sports. If you're just into reality, you're going to pay for your reality. And the whole bundling side of the business may go away over time.
Yeah, so Comcast is still going to be king, I believe. I wonder, do you imagine them trying to do another merger after this big one goes through?
Well, you never know. I think that they're in a position where they can stand pat and hold their ground and just try to, reduce their overall costs and be the position leader. But I do think they might be smart to keep adding to their broadband capabilities, because that's what's going to get them towards the Netflix model, if you will. And I think that's really the reason this deal was done, was the broadband, really, when you get right down to it.
It's going to be the second biggest broadband company in the world if it happens. Charter and Time Warner Cable, it may happen. We'll see. Clark Hodges, financial strategist, HodgesCapital.com. Clark, thank you very much.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Good night.